Fallout 76, a game about progressing and becoming better and better until you can one-shot everything. But, what happens when you remove the weapon progression? You start off with a standard level 1 10mm pistol and a quest to find the Overseer. But first, let's start inside the vault, where I created this abomination that jump scares us every time I find a loading screen. Scared the f*** out of us.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong.
So I left the vault and was met with the only gun I'm allowed to use in this challenge until the game is finished and the Scorch Queen is defeated. I met up with my friend Nimrod, who's also doing the challenge. Thank you very much for suffering with us. And embarked on a journey to the Wayward, where we met a barkeep who politely handed over information on the Overseer in exchange for doing the mission for her. Oh, cool. Let's not do her quest. Even though we've just promised to help her. After that, we headed to the Flatwoods to follow the Overseer and loot her. After the boring quests were out of the way, we headed to the Morgantown airport where we cleared out the Scorch and discovered 76 is a flawless, non-buggy game. Maybe we go... Oh, no. Yeah. But other than that, my RNG was on my side, surprisingly. I'm like a very unlucky player. But as I killed a legendary cult leader, I got something that benefited me. No way! 2-shot 10mm. 1 projectile plus 25% damage. Yes. I'll take this time and clarify the rules. We are limited to a level 1 10mm pistol only. Weapon bashing is not allowed. It can be upgraded at weapons bench. And legendary level 1 10mm pistols. This includes 1, 2, and 3 stars. As long as it's level 1, it's fine. It's on the board. We can use it. We can do events for legendary modules and cores to reroll the effect on the pistol. However, if the events are occupied by other players, we'll do our best to output as much help as possible and not just sit there like leeches. But for everything else, it will be a strict duo only using 10mm pistols. But that's everything for the challenge. We went for a little jog for the physical challenge and travelled into the mines to complete our final exam to join the fire breathers and watch a nuke go off in the distance. Was it playing really intense music? What the hell's that? Oh. We set up a little camp for storage and crafting and set off to met Rose. However, Rose didn't want to speak to us straight away, and honestly I don't blame her. We repaired a signal jammer and finally she wanted to speak with us. I can imagine she was horrified. She wanted us to fight a steroid-infused bear, while on our way to find Yogi Coleman. Encountered a swarm worse than anything seen on The Walking Dead before. A bunch of green boys. Legend. Oh my god! Nimrod! Stop! Let's over the fence. And after a whole lot of running later, we decided to show our dominance over Appalachia. And we fought a legendary level 50 steroid bear. Just to make it more of a challenge. I mean, we might as well have been fighting an M1 Abram with Nerf guns. After using all of our ammo on buff Yogi, we celebrated by playing a little jig in a cabin. Rose wanted us to use an explosive bait to lure a pack of mongrels and kill them. And also, make friends with Deathclaw. I don't think it was my friend. Oh wait, is it actually our friend? Ah! It's not our friend! Anyways, after getting out of that abusive relationship with the Deathclaw, we headed to the Super Mutant camp to steal a rocket launcher that sadly, I couldn't use. And now, time for one of the most tedious quest lines in the game. Finding the key fragments. We found a couple of key fragments, then we got sidetracked by events. We did 3 events to get cores for a legendary reroll on our weapons. We did the survival against the robot. We did a spinning wheel game in Nuke World where we got many tickets that we turned into about 700 10mm bullets. Finally, we met the wise
Mothman.
In between events, we finished collecting all the key fragments, so all that was left to do was turn the quest in. After this quest, we thought we have enough legendary modules and cores for a legendary, but no. We're missing some modules. So, we completed some more story quests, waiting for legendary items to drop so we could scrap them. Went to Abby's bunker and followed her quest, finding heating coils for upgrades for the Scorch detectors. Then we loaded the Master Holotape into 3 terminals. And because we still haven't got enough legendaries for modules, we decided to do a little shopping. And finally, we got enough to roll the tier 3 legendary mod. And I got exactly what I wanted. And I got a really lucky run with these weapons. What do you think was good for you? Please, something good. Yippee! Bullets explode for 20% more weapon damage. Plus 250 damage plus 250 damage resistance while reloading. Damage increases up to 95% as health decreases. After that amazing pistol upgrade, I tested out on a rad roach. Mr. Rare Roach, please stop touching me. We headed to reboot the system at Abby's bunker and ventured off to join the Brotherhood of Steel. We went to go find Fort Defiant, and after spending way too much time than I like to admit looking for clues, it was about an hour. Nimrod found that all we were looking for was a small piece of paper on the first desk. We travelled to Fort Defiance and find out we need to join the military to get access to an elevator. So we headed to the recruitment area to suit up. We didn't have our own, so we just stole someone else's. And to pass the military, all I had to do was walk along a plank, press some buttons, shoot a couple of targets, and interrogate a child, because he's a commie. We were sent to the other side of the training grounds to take part in a live firing exercise to kill multiple waves of robot communists. After all the physical exams, we just had to validate some paperwork. Sounds pretty easy, right? It was the most pain and suffering and overall bullshittiness I have ever experienced in my life. If I ever hear in another Bethesda game I need to go to wait in the DMV for some paperwork, I will launch my keyboard so fast through my monitor, it will cause a black hole. Anyways, we got our pictures taken and we finally had our military IDs. So we headed straight back to Fort Defiance to use the elevator. Once out of the elevator, we finally joined the Brotherhood, and for our first quest, we were ordered to go and repair some emergency responders. And while we were doing this, I discovered the definition of fuck around and find out. When I attacked the legendary Scorched Beast, and I immediately regretted it, and just ran. The final emergency transponder was above a cave, but it wasn't just any cave, it was a Scorched Beast nest. Once we left there, we had to discover more information about the Scorched Beasts on a terminal. And again, we discovered that Fallout 76 is the smoothest, non-buggy game to exist. Finding out more information on the Scorched Beast led us to Blackwell's bunker, that was guarded by 2 Deathclaws. Watch this shit. Duro! Ah, shit! But by running past them and finding the bypass for the elevator, we got inside. But when we were inside the bunker, we had to reset the security system by pressing a button, flipping a switch, and turning a valve. Once we were past security, we had to put in a code to unlock something behind a painting, and it was an access card to the White Springs bunker. Once we made our way to the White Springs bunker, we discovered a vault owned by the Enclave and ran by a guy called Modus. They told us to load a system access tape into a terminal in the most buggiest area of the game. It honestly felt like being on an acid trip. This is where the first problem of the run occurred. It wasn't because of the pistols doing low damage or not being enough for the area. It's because the game is a buggy mess. Nothing was being loaded, and the map's fine not being loaded, but the enemies weren't loading either, so it just seemed like I was dying from nothing. Did I do it? That's some bullshit. I don't even know what the fuck I'm dying to. Until my saviour, Nimrod, got here and killed the invisible enemies because he could see them. We retrieved Modus's lost data from the drug trip room, and I'm going to say, again, flawless game. Once returned to Modus, he told us to be promoted we had to accumulate 10 points, which we could earn by completing Enclave events or eliminating legendary or unique enemies. Per event is 2 points and per legendary is 1 point. So we did a mix of the events for the maximum amount of points. We started off by doing an Enclave event. We had to defend against the mole people, and this event went out with a bang.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you are going to have a little bit more time.
During this event, we finally started encountering problems with the 10mm. We were now using too much ammo and durability to kill a simple enemy, and going on in this challenge, it would just become more of an issue. After shopping for all the 10mm ammo I could afford, we continued to do more events. Leader of the Pack was probably the best, because it is a short, easy, simple event that required little time, having to kill 3 Wolfpack leaders that were all classed as unique enemies. So at this point we're on a roll with these missions and already halfway done. And while on this roll, we completed yet another Enclave event, then another open world event where we killed a ton of robots, including 2 legendaries, that resulted in 9 out of the 10 points for the mission. So, on at the final event we went. Oh, so we thought. This is where we noticed the lackluster of damage with the pistols, using a ton of our armor on Yogis and Honey Beasts, just to fail the event anyways. So after that, we quickly slid into a safe and sound event, which thankfully, before the end, we managed to kill a legendary. With all 10 points, we got the promotion, and now on to the final mission of the game. I have become death. We had to look for a drone that was carrying a nuclear keycard that we chased down for about like half an hour. Once getting the keycard and the nuclear launch card, we embarked on the hardest mission yet. To launch a nuke from the silo. Dwindling on ammo and barely just scraping through, we got a biometric ID and bypass security. Destroying control panels on our way through to the reactor room, and once in there fixing the leaking pipes. From here, we went to the storage room with barely any ammo to our names and took on one of the most horrific, scarring, mind-numbing battles of all time, taking on Assaultrons, Sentry Bots, and Mr. Gusties, just to try and repair the panel. See, the problem is that me and Nimrod can't really read, because the entire time while we're searching for the repair cores, it says we could have just crafted them the entire time. Oh my god, you can repair the damaged ones.
What?
I shit you not, the entire time it's been an option to repair the damaged ones.
Oh shit.
Once we were in the silo room, we had to defend these robots, but with very little ammo, it can be quite difficult. After the defending stage, however, we finally inserted the keycard, put in the launch card, and finally launched the nuke. The nuke's leaving the silo.
Yeah.
I would say this is the end of the run, but we're masochists, and wanted to suffer more. You remember what I said at the start of the video? Till the game is finished and the Scorch Queen is defeated. Yeah, so we're off to do that. While armed and dangerous with our level 1 pistols, we took on a level 80 Scorch Queen. With a little help. Or a simple way of putting it, we pretty much got carried. We tried our best to deal as much damage as possible to the Scorch Queen, but with no caps and an empty pistol, I was kind of just forced to watch and kept dying and dying. But thankfully, in the end, the boys came through and defeated her. And to answer the question, can you be Fallout 76 with a level 1 10mm pistol? Not really.